Guys, speaking of buying things, we have Sony buying Insomniac Games, are the developers who made that great Spider-Man game that came out earlier in the
Epic
year.
game. Epic game.
Yeah.
Epic game.
So, this California-based studio Insomniac Games, best known for your Spider-Man on PS4. Insomniac will become an exclusive PlayStation developer. Founded in 1994, Insomniac remained independent for 25 years, largely with Sony like Ratchet and Clank and Resistance, but also with other big game companies like Microsoft, which published the open world game Sunset Overdrive. Insomniac has also worked on several VR games with Oculus, including the upcoming Stormland, currently announced as an Oculus Rift exclusive. Notably, Insomniac's previous VR games have not been released on PlayStation VR. Spider-Man, a PS4 exclusive, was the studio's most successful game, selling 13.2 million copies, according to a Sony press release today. Given that fact, this news and the end of the first game, it's safe to say a sequel is in the works for PlayStation 5. So, Leo, it sounds like you played this game. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man?
So I'll be honest. So, are my thoughts on the Spider-Man or the Insomniac thing?
Well, first on the game. And
Okay.
You can tell us.
The game, the open world of Spider-Man was fantastic. The mobility, the overall gaming mechanics, the story. The story definitely took a whole left field with what we know. Everybody wants to like, oh, Uncle Ben died. Oh, I need to do. No, they made it to where he's already an adult. He's been Spider-Man for 10 years. He's a badass. He knows his powers. He knows what he needs to do. The different suits provide different ultimate attacks. Very much more technology. Technology, like you can definitely feel. I definitely feel like the game is what Tom Holland's Far Away From Home became. Because remember, spoiler alert, Far Away From Home, when he was building his own suit. And John Favreau was looking at him building his suit. Like, man, it kind of had like a Tony Stark-esque feel. And I feel that's who pretty much Peter Parker became in the Spider-Man game, and that's exactly what I feel like a lot of people wanted, and it was great. I mean, traversing the city, everything about that game was great.
I have to agree. It was very much a current comic Spider-Man where he's pretty much taken over from Tony Stark, where I think Parker Industries and Marvel is the main technological firm.
Correct.
Since I think Tony is in somebody's suit at the moment.
He's still an Avenger, so in that game. But nonetheless, I thought what I thought was happening as far as like the purchasing. I thought that was actually a really smart thing, because I always felt in my heart that Insomniac was always a PS4 exclusive. Ratchet and Clank, that always felt like a PS4 exclusive, whether or not you can get on Xbox or not. People could say, "Oh, but Sunset Overdrive." Sunset Overdrive was only published by Xbox, but the IP was owned by Insomniac. I thought like especially I kind of thought it was kind of like a good junction between. Sony buying Insomniac and Sony saying, "Nah, we don't want Marvel to have Sony anymore, or Marvel to have Spider-Man anymore." Because I'm just like, man, they could go so much great directions. I mean, could you imagine? So people are doing shows and movies. Could you imagine video game episodes and movies? I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think that'd be really, really cool. They can go with the whole, Spideyverse, Miles Morales, go with Miguel, Gwen Stacy. You can go so many different directions as far as going future games. I thought that was what the direction they were kind of going when I saw the purchase of Insomniac. But then, of course, Marvel got Spider-Man back. So we'll see what happens.
So one interesting thing about this was announced, I would say about the same time, maybe within a day or two of each other, of the fact that Sony just announced that PlayStation 4 will also be available for, and PlayStation 5 Sony exclusives will be available for Windows as well. Wow. I'm wondering if the two had something to do with each other, because they were literally announced the same week that all PlayStation, well, not all, but most PlayStation exclusives will also be available on Windows, and they bought Insomniac Studios.
Interesting.
Are they really exclusive if they're available on Windows?
No, but console-wise. So they won't be on Switch. They won't be on Xbox. but they'll also be available on Windows. I'm not sure if these two things had anything to do with each other, but they were announced the same week.
So I guess, what do you think of this news of Sony buying Insomniac?
So I think this is excellent news, actually, because Insomniac seems like a really talented firm, and lately there's been a lot of shakeup in the industry anyway. So I think Sony this is a good move for them, and I think that they need more games like that, like the Spider-Man game. And Spider-Man game reminded me a lot of there was a Batman game, Arkham. It had it's very Arkham-esque in its feel, very cinematic, I think it was definitely a good move on their part. I think that this just it's just another weapon in their arsenal, and I definitely approve of that.
Yeah, what I can appreciate for that for sure was that they kept the team, they kept the design team, everything that they're doing. Now, essentially, in a nutshell, Sony tells them, "Here you go. Here's more money. Make a better game now." So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So,
The Mighty Wolf says that the Spider-Man game was better than the movies.
I
You guys
agree
with that?
100%.
If you're talking any other movies, the Tom Holland movies, I'm sorry, Tom Holland. I'm a fanboy of Tom Holland. The dude was incredibly talented, and the first Spider-Man that I was like, this is Spider-Man. But then again, his freaking intro video, like his application video, was him doing Spider-Man moves in real life without wires.
He's a gymnast, so.
Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. And remember, if you want to support the channel, please check us out on the socials. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew Kadish. You can also find our discussion group over on Facebook at eggfbgroup.com. That's eggfbgroup.com. Takes you right to our Facebook discussion group. And if you'd like to help support the channel, check out my books over on Amazon.com. You can find them by going to kadishbooks.com. That's KADISH books.com. And as always, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video for more movie, TV, and entertainment news and analysis. This is Matthew Kadish. I'll catch you guys later.